That should be live.
Oh, there's something I totally forgot.
Hmm.
I bought a bike.
Oh.
Like an exercise bike or a normal
A
bike?
bike.
Oh, okay. Like a motorcycle bike or a bike?
Bike. And bike technology has changed considerably since the last time I bought a new bike in 1998, we'll say.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You have to get used to having the brakes up on the handlebars and not just pushing backward on the pedal.
Haha. I did previously have brakes on the handlebars. Thank you very much. No, I have a forward and a backwards gear toggle now. Instead of just one dial at the top,
yeah.
you
Oh,
go
wow.
up and down.
Yep.
It's now got like a Formula One style toggle on the front and back of the handlebars that you. I was like, how do I change gears on this fucking bike? I need to know. Because I could shift down because that was the things at the bottom that you push away from you. And I was like, where is the other thing? And it turns out the other thing was out of my visibility on the front of the handlebars, and it's just little levers that you pull in. Also, fucking thing has got disc brakes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like the new. So I bought mountain bikes because I used to go mountain biking a ton, and my son has my old one, and I bought another mountain bike several years ago. And the newer one that I bought also has disc brakes on it, and I'm like,
I was like, what the hell?
those things fucking grip.
Damn.
Like,
Yeah, they do.
especially like the first time I'm out on the trail, because everyone's like, oh yeah, they're better than just the old rubber knobbies that you had on there for the tires and stuff. I'm like, all right, cool. The first time I applied what I thought was medium pressure to my front brake while I was keeping it level, but like I was like, all right, I got to start slowing down. I'm doing the back and the front, and I fucking endoed going down a hill.
You're like
and
ass over tea kettle, like, wee!
I didn't flip, but my back end definitely lifted up, and I let go of the brakes, and it slammed back down. Like, son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Jeez.
because I did a quick test because I have to get a larger frame. I have to get larger of everything because of my weird proportions. And like while I was doing like a test ride along like a canal path, I pulled the brakes and I was like, "This is the back brake. I can feel it. This is definitely the back brake. I just want to make sure this is the front one." And I look down and I'm looking for the motion on the pads to grip the thing, and I'm like, there's no motion. What is going on? Why it's working, but what? How is it doing
witchcraft?
it? And then I looked at the side. I was like, oh, it's disc brake. Okay,
That's
okay,
wild.
that's good to know. And all of the cables now get fed through the frame, which is cool as hell to me.
Wow.
Like the gear shift and brakes and everything, like it comes straight from the handlebars, goes straight into the frame, and it's just like it's a clutter-free frame.
And I never understood why, because like Trek always did it where it was on top of the main bar, and I never understood. It's like it's an hollow aluminum frame. Just feed it through the fucking frame.
Right.
It's not
Probably
hard.
because welding and aluminum have changed so much since those days, though, that they're just like,
But
let's
they
just
already
fucking put a
have
hole in it.
holes in it, so that way you
I
can
know.
put the water bottle holders in the frame.
know.
So it's like it's
I
not.
know.
Just do the thing.
Yep. But no, I've got to get a kickstand. I've got to get a lock. I've got to get a new seat. And then my Saturday mornings are probably going to be a lot of cycling around, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Because I also had to buy a bike rack for my car.
Oh, fun.
Nice.
Let me tell you, a bike rack on a Kia Soul is fucking hilarious.
Beep beep.
Did you have to? Does that have a hitch in the back, or did you have to mount it to the back end?
I have to mount it on the trunk.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
It's like a spider gripping the trunk. Essentially, it's like this thing that you put on it, and then it latches in around the trunk, and it's just like, okay,
Like a face hugger.
This is
one might say.
basically yes. Except in the Kia Soul's case, it's a butt hugger because it holds onto the frame.
That's right.
I know, because I had when I bought the bikes, the guy was like, "Do you need a bike rack?" And I'm like, "No, I got a truck." And the guy was like, "Oh, you have a hitch then, so we can get you like these mule ones that go right in the hitch." And I'm like, "I have a fucking
putting it in the bed of the truck."
Yeah, it's like I don't need to spend an extra $200 on a bike rack.
Right.
The bed will hold it.
Yeah.
Yes. I will say one thing. I completely meant to bring this up. It's in my show notes to make sure I bring this up. Boston, you like me were very disappointed when they changed the Windows and whatever, where you couldn't just hit the Windows key, then up, and then right, and then enter twice and shut down the PC because you could you memorize that thing.
Yep.
Alt F4 shut your PC down now.
Really? Because I do Windows X, up, right, enter. Because Windows X brings up that menu.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you are
It's
in
F4,
your...
interesting. Oh, let me try it right
if
now.
you're on your...
I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
exactly. If you're on your desktop and you Alt F4, it brings up the shutdown restart menu right in the middle of the screen. It's defaulted to shut down.
That's interesting. I had no idea. That's
Neither
cool.
did I
Thank
until
you.
very recently, and I was like, I just needed to close all these windows so I can turn my PC off because I'm a pedantic little shit like that. So I'm just holding Alt and hitting F4 like 5 times. And it turns out I needed to hit it 4 times because on the 5th time it just popped up with a box and was like shut down. And I was like, whoa. How long has this been here?
I'll have to
That's
check that
cool.
out after this podcast. Because it was already a pain in the ass to get your computer. You had to go through, 4 or 5 different menus to finally find the setting to tell your computer, no, do not hibernate. Shut the fuck off when I tell you to shut down.
Right.
Yep.
I do not need 300 days of uptime because I thought you were shutting off and you weren't, and now you're behind on all these updates and nothing will install because everything is stacked up.
So if you're listening to this on a PC, don't try that out right now because you're just going to shut everything down.
And just tell us the adventure that you went on and how much data you just lost.
That's right.
Yep. I will say I did see a great meme, which was somebody in a game chat saying, "Hey, if you hold Alt F4, you'll bring up like a debug menu." And somebody posted the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Aslan the tiger, saying, "Don't cite the deep magic at me, witch. I was there when it was created." And I was just like,
it still has to
that's
get
how
people,
old I
though.
feel.
Right? Like it still
100%
has to.
it does.
I
have seen it get VTubers.
Yeah, I get people at work with that all the time.
Oh, it's so good. It will never not be funny.
It will not.
Oh man. All right, are you guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Sure.
All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to a brand new episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And the Nimp.
Hello.
Quick plug here for our Patreon page, e1m1.cash.
Those ones are numbers.
$5 a month tier is the recommended one. That gets you everything, including the exclusive uncensored Outcast. I almost ran out of room on this page of things we talked about this week. This was an action-packed, almost 45-minute Outcast this week. So
there are times I wish we could do show titles from the Outcast, but unfortunately we cannot.
Full of good ones this week. So check that over there. You get early access to We Were Like It and Critical Misses. At the $5 tier or higher, you get exclusive access to the Critical Misses production meeting. The season 37 one is a really good one that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Enjoy that.
A period of time.
Yeah, in the future. And then you get exclusive access to The Wayward Sons, the supernatural TV show watchcast that the Nimp and Moon, that other guy, Moonpeer, is going through.
The English one.
Yes, that guy. All of that and more, e1m1.cash.
The ones and numbers.
Quick plug here. There's a new episode of Picking Up the Pixels RPG Love out right now. If you're listening to the audio version of this, it's probably right before this episode in the feed. So just go back one, and you can hear us talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We talked a lot about Avowed. So if you want to hear some kind of post-game thoughts on Avowed, talked a lot about that. All right, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
So I'll be honest, I only really played, other than the required reading for other shows that we do. You can check them out on their varying feeds as they are. I only played Shadows. I only had time for a little bit, so I only really played some Shadows.
Okay.
Same here.
66 hours in. So
I'm 42, I think it was. Notes.
Okay.
Yes, 42 hours. There we go.
Way in there.
So, do you want to know when Act 2 finishes?
At 70 hours?
Approximately, yes.
I was going to say 70 hours when we get out of the hinterlands.
That's right. That's right.
it's that big circle that you're working on right now, Nimp. Act 2 is over when that is done.
Jeez.
So there's more after the big circle?
I'm saying nothing about anything that happens after the big circle. I'm just saying that Act 2 finishes after that big old circle in the middle is finished. I like shapes. Circles are a good shape.
They are.
Does a circle have one edge or infinite edges?
Nope.
Anyway.
Oh, nope.
Infinite edges.
No. Nope.
What about a silo?
So I, in all honesty, I'm just on the achievement cleanup now. Like
Okay.
that's literally all I have left. I've got like 7 achievements. 2 of them are seasonal related.
Awesome.
Wait,
Can't
like
skip that.
seasons in the game, like spring and summer, or seasonal
Yeah.
as in challenges?
Weather seasons in the
Okay.
game related. And you can't fast forward time.
Okay.
Nope.
Time waits for no one, or fast forwards for.
21
yeah.
minutes a day-night cycle, approximately.
Okay. And how many days in a season?
I don't know how many day-night cycles there are in a season.
Okay.
There is a lot. A lot.
Interesting.
All I know is that usually once I finally clear out a castle is usually about the time that I'm like, I should probably buy back my scouts. And I'm like, no. I probably just need to fast travel one more time and the season will change. And that's usually when it changes anyway. I've only had it happen one time where I bought back all 6 of my scouts, fast traveled
Immediately it
somewhere,
changed.
and then the season changed. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Luckily,
so
it's fairly cheap anyway, the way I have it set. So, yeah, it wasn't that big of a thing. It was just kind of annoying.
yeah, it's not that expensive. And like, if you go into the map screen, you can see the progression of the season.
Yeah, there is a counter.
2 breakpoints.
Yeah,
Like it
I
has
just never pay attention to it.
it has like a half of a season point where like when it gets to the half of the season, it gives you a new cutscene, and then when it gets to the end of the season, it gives you another cutscene. But there is an achievement in the game for getting 5 legendary paintings, which is animals in the wild that you sneak up on and you can get paintings on.
Right.
There's 5 legendary ones, and 1 of them is all year round, and 4 of them are based on seasons.
Yep.
Which is fabulous, I'll say. As Boston, I think, is muted, or I can't hear him. One of the two.
I was muted.
There we go.
I'm a professional.
Yeah, I mean, or you just tapped your foot one too many times. You know, it's the same.
Or there might be a cat underfoot. Either, something.
Possibly. But it's like, okay, so I've got 3 of them now. I'm nearing the end of winter, so I've got the spring and the summer legendary one to do. Other than that, I literally just have like the usual achievements where it's like, oh, do all of this one type of activity, which there's only 1 of those achievements in there, thank goodness.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
But it's a bunch of like combat related ones and like stupid little moments where it's like, oh, have someone die of the bleed effect and sheathe your sword as they die, essentially.
Okay. All right.
You know, the
I think I
you're
got that
already
one.
dead kind of moments.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because they can't help themselves.
Oh boy.
And I honestly think I thought we'd seen the last of this. I genuinely thought we'd seen the last of it. There is an achievement in there called the Adventurer.
Okay.
What do you have to do to trigger that achievement, Boston?
See,
With the most obvious joke ever. It's not even a real one. It's a fake, stupid achievement that doesn't matter.
Gosh, I don't know. I thought it was going to be like visit every location in Japan. I don't know.
No, you get one for getting all of the or all of the big regions. You do get one for doing that. No, the Adventurer is you have to shoot somebody in the knee with an arrow.
Why? It's 2025. Shut up.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
You know what, though? Now that I know that that's an achievement, I'll go do it right now.
Yeah, but like,
yes.
Come on.
It's never going to die. It's just
never
what it
gonna die.
is.
Hey, did you guys know the
it-
cake is a lie?
Hey, Boston, there is also an achievement in there I'm deliberately waiting to last to get, which is called Made You Look.
Okay.
There's a waterfall at your hideout.
Uh-huh.
Made You Look achievement is for going behind the waterfall at your hideout to look for treasure.
Okay.
I think I have that one already
Based on
too.
that, it sounds like there isn't treasure back there, which is upsetting.
No.
Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But why? I have a question, Boston. Why is it that joke is okay, but the arrow to the knee joke is not okay? Because one's considerably older than the other one.
I think they're both bad, but only if the waterfall doesn't have like treasure behind it. Because if
I 100% doesn't, based on the achievement name.
And like if it doesn't, then you're just doing the thing that video games do where it's like, oh man, tutorials are the worst. Anyways, double tap A to jump. And it's like, no, stop it. Like you can't have it both ways. Like
it's a video game. They have proven that they can.
Just
they could charge you $70-$80 and still get you to buy a season pass. They have proven this time and time again.
Watch it, or they're going to make you pay $90 and $90 for a
every
season
time
pass.
You complain about it. It's Project $10 comes back. I don't know. I've been sick for weeks, and I'm like in no mood for like video game ridiculousness, especially for the worst joke in video game history.
So, do you think that's only bad because, like, I genuinely thought it was good the first time? The first time I heard it. Do you think it's bad because it's taken on such a life of its own?
No, it's because the internet
it got memed to death. Essentially,
it's the same thing as This Is the Way. There was something that was fun or interesting, or
but
something
this is
like
the way,
unique.
Boston.
I will murder someone. But like, and then the internet does what it does, and it just buries it in the ground so that it's not funny anymore. Like all of this stuff was funny. Like the first joke is probably like Borderlands 2 referenced like the knee joke, and it was probably funny back then 15 years ago. And now it's just like, no, just stop. Sorry, I'm in a bad mood, but like stop making knee to the arrow to the knee jokes.
The arrow jokes.
Needed arrow jokes. I'm revitalizing it. I'm bringing it back. We're flipping the script. Just you guys.
I used to be an adventure. I think I needed the arrow.
Exactly. Yep. I just stop.
No, trust me. I get it. I think they're tired. They're tired and done with. I just don't have the vitriol that you have for them. So I was very curious.
I didn't think I did either until I just
no
upset about it.
I know you did because anytime that specific joke comes up, this reaction happens.
Okay. I got a short memory.
It always comes up when you're sick, or anytime it comes up, you lose your mind.
Here's the thing: I'm a stay-at-home dad. I'm always sick. There's another one. True. Stop making the cap. I'm always something. That's another one.
Plus, I did just have like a whole world rant that you guys got to listen to, and now Boston's like, yeah, you know what? The world does suck. Screw that joke.
That's why I read 45 books so far this year. Screw social media. Anyways, ninjas.
Nimp, what do you think about Assassin's Creed so far? Because I have completed the story. I will say that. I've completed the story. It's done and dusted. Boston, you will be very, very disappointed, as I was, in the
lack of future Google
extracurricular activities.
I figured they've been talking about it for I feel like 5 games about like, oh, you know, our out of the animus stuff, you know, players just really don't like it. We're gonna minimize that. And you and I are
sorry. Say that to Valhalla, which had one of the most ridiculous ones that you could potentially.
Valhalla had like the most.
Yeah.
Also, okay.
Tangents the episode. Welcome, buddies.
Potentially minor spoiler here.
Okay.
Potentially. Small spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
There is a hint of something supernatural happening in the game. Not in the anime stuff, or out of the anime stuff, in the game itself. And I wasn't sure, because I was like, I think this is what's happening here, but I'm just going to Google it to check.
Well, you see some of it in the intro, too, of like, someone breaking into the like propaganda video you're watching.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like in-world supernatural stuff. Like
okay.
Japan supernatural stuff.
Is it with the yokai stuff?
There is something that happens around that too. But it was a different mission, and I was like, I think this is the situation that's going on here, but let me just Google it and check.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a swear word at the start, and I ended the Google search with Reddit to try and avoid all of the AI slop that's out there.
Naturally.
And there was a very strong discussion of how I was right, number one, but also number two, people complaining about supernatural stuff being in this game and how it doesn't belong in the Assassin's Creed games. I was like,
from Japan?
Did you play Origins where you fight a giant snake, where you fight a god?
You unlock a undead horse that's on fire.
Right.
Which was really cool.
Also, Japan has like such a rich history of like haunted myths and legends. Like,
yeah, I just brought up about yokais.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like
the best
yokai
part.
and oni and like all the. Yeah.
That's always been my favorite thing with the Assassin's Creed games is when they started adding some of the supernatural stuff, it's always explained as, okay, no, the supernatural thing is real. However, it's not the myth or the legend or the lore that we're used to. There is an actual explanation for why this phenomenon happened in your world.
Yeah.
Except they didn't give a reason why, as Bayek in Origins, you fought a giant snake.
Right.
They didn't give a reason as
'Cause
Bayek
cool.
why you... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Have these people not played Valhalla? Spoiler alert, where you go to Valhalla!
Also,
which also had a really good lore in game for why you were there and what it actually is.
Also, like video games at some point are supposed to be fun and cool. Fight a giant snake, man. It's good.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing to do.
This was like just cute, cool, wonderful little things. Like this wonderful little character who I met and will not elaborate on for when other people get there. I was like, yeah, that's really cool storytelling, and I really like that is what I thought it was. Like, that's a genuinely really cool little thing. And then people have to go on the internet and complain about it because it's not quote-unquote real enough, having never, ever played any of the games ever, apparently.
I learned Japanese on Duolingo, and what you don't realize is... Shut up.
Pretty much.
Yes.
So...
Anyway. Nimp, as you were saying, how do you think?
I am at the point right now. We're on the main wheel, the main hub. I have 4 people left to kill, and I'm currently working on the 4th one. And I'm not going to say who it is right now because I don't want to ruin. I have something to say about the one that I just killed, and I'm not going to talk about it because,
what clock location is it?
We're looking at 7 o'clock. So this individual, and maybe because I couldn't work around this. So, Moon, correct me if I'm wrong. This is a story about Naue getting revenge on this group of people who basically attacked her province, killed her people, and her father, and so Naue is out for revenge.
Yep.
Correct? Yes. Okay.
I've played enough to say that's where the story starts.
Okay. I couldn't remember how far you got into it either, boss.
Well, that's the majority of like the end of her intro is
correct.
Yeah, that's when you get to the title scene. After 6 hours.
So there is one character that I specifically picked. We are killing them. Like anyone that I've had a choice where it's like, do you want to spare them or kill them? Specifically for this hub wheel, not for anyone else outside of the other wheels. Those are take and give depending on what I know about the situation and what's happening. People outside this main wheel, I'll spare maybe.
But the main one dude.
Yeah, this main hub, nobody is getting spared.
Okay.
This is a revenge story.
Sure.
You are all dying. Okay.
I will say I spared one.
Okay.
No.
So there is one that I said, no, we are killing them. And the game was like, no, you're not. And then when I look at that wheel, it says that I spared them.
Interesting.
Absolutely not. No. And it just kind of goes off like a wet fart where it's like, okay, yeah, that happened. Cool. Now we're moving on. I'm like, no. This one individual is still alive out here. And I want to kill them.
Right. It's revenge.
But they're gone now because the game was like, no, we know what you said you wanted to do. We have given them plot armor so that it cannot happen.
I wish I had the game open so I could reference that wheel and see if I spared that person too. Because as far as I know, I only spared one person in that wheel, and it was the 3 o'clock position.
Boston, take your headset off.
I don't care.
Go ahead.
I don't care if you spoil it.
No, he's going to forget.
Yeah.
I'm going to spoil this, so if you don't want to know anything about this, you have 5,
Skip to the next chapter
4,
marker.
3, 2, 1. It's the lady. What was her name? Lady
Oni.
Lady Oni. Yeah, from Yosuke.
I spurred her.
Nope. I said die, and Naue goes in there to give the killing blow. And what was her bodyguard's name? Kuna.
Kuna.
He's bear.
He's the bear guy. Yeah.
Steps in, and I stab him instead.
Huh.
And they're just like,
die?
well, that happened. Huh. Well, I guess the lady's fine, so cool.
Did he die?
She goes. No, he's still alive apparently too.
Okay, I was just
got,
like, he's a quest giver too. I've got like 4 more quests from him since.
I actually completed some of his quest stuff too before doing this one, but like they're just like, oh, okay, well that went wrong. I guess we're moving on now.
Weird.
And I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like, their head belongs on this spike that I have in my base to show that I have taken out all these people. That doesn't actually exist. That's just in my mind. There's a portrait that we draw little X's on.
Revenge.
So, yeah, it's not that graphic.
Yeah.
If it was my home base, it would be. So I'm like, okay, so that's really stupid that they pretty much took that. They gave me the choice, and then they took that choice away from me, and now we're just like, okay, moving on, cool.
Yeah, because
so that annoys me.
I could see that happening in my game because I picked the canon mode. I could see them being like, well, you don't get a choice for this one because that's how the story's going to go. But hearing it go the other way is interesting.
The reason specifically for me, because for all of these, like, we get like this whole back end story of, okay,
you have to do like 4 or 5 missions to like uncover what they did, the effects of what they did, who they were working with, and then finally who they are, and then you can locate them and go and take care of them.
We get the whole backstory of why they've made the decisions that they've made to become evil, which is perfectly fine. I have no issues with that. Which is exactly why it's like, you know what? Yeah, you were in a bad situation. That sucks. However, that doesn't mean you get to come to my village and kill my people and my father. No, I am taking your head, and then we are square.
I'm sorry for whatever happened to you, but you need to die.
Yeah, it sucks that your 9 daughters all got killed in front of you. Guess what? You killed my father. You are dying too.
Revenge.
And then you guys can all greet each other in the great beyond.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for you / happy for you, but I ain't reading all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, everyone can see where my moral compass is.
Right. Revenge.
Revenge.
Outside of that thing, though, like everything else with this game has been fine. Like it's just this one thing where I was like, that just feels really weird that you guys gave a sob story for this one character. You're like, no. The sob story was enough, and it's like, oh my god. But outside of that. I was actually talking with Moon earlier before we started recording that I have been getting kind of Metal Gear Solid 5 vibes from this. I always forget that I can go full prone. Always.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll remember it when I get into, like, knee-high grass. And I'm like, why is my stealth meter not so high? I'm like, oh, that's right. Hold down to X. Okay, now I'm crawling through grass. Cool.
Yeah, you can go full.
Yeah, exactly. But especially with like all the ambushing stuff, because I've unlocked a trait where when I kill somebody, when their body gets investigated by somebody else,
I know which one this is.
It will poison them and then pretty much kill them.
That's great.
So I have piles of bodies strategically placed throughout castles where I'll because you can do the whole eagle vision thing where you can mark everybody, and I'll see like all these markers start to disappear throughout the castle, and it's like this is fantastic. I love this game. I have gotten to a point now though. I was telling Moon that it's like I'm kind of at it where it's like I don't want to do the whole ambush thing anymore. It's like whenever I get to like one, especially since the castles are getting bigger. I'm kind of getting to the point where it's like, oh, we have to take this castle. Yosuke, front door.
5
Let's
samurai
go.
daisho in there.
Yeah.
Kick down the door.
Exactly. Yosuke, though, also has a sword where it has a 50% chance of poisoning people, and if their health is far enough, just kills them outright.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, there is a really great engraving. I think he can get an engraving for every status effect that does it, but there's one where any enemy who has 2 health segments or less left, and they have been hit with the full status effect, it just kills them immediately.
That's
so
great.
I've got a bleed sword that anybody below 2 health segments, it just kills them. It's
That's
great
great.
because you just swing, you go from person to person to person,
That's
and you're
exactly
just
what I do.
inflicting the status on them. And then as soon as they get to like they've got 4 health segments, they get to half health, they just drop dead immediately.
That's so good.
And yeah, because that's really cool too. Because I actually had it where I had one of those stupid generals, and I hate this enemy type because they're the ones that can call in fire bombs and
paddle
fire
wavers.
arrows in this area. Yeah, and they can also continually call in like an infinite supply. It seems like of soldiers to come fight you if you
Yes,
don't
they
take them out.
can.
And between having 2 heavy elites, a commander, one of those stupid Sentinel Guardian things as well that seems to be higher than an elite, and then you have like
Yeah, the
all
ones
these
with
little
the face
minions.
masks.
Yeah. And then you have like all these little minions showing up, and as Yosuke, like they weren't doing a whole lot of damage to me, but it was just annoying how many of them there were.
Yeah, you're right. It's minions. It's literally they are the minions. They're the creeps that get sent out from the towers to slow you down.
Yeah. But with this poison skill, it's like I just see them dropping continuously as I'm trying to focus on this one thing. So I'm like, I'm never getting rid of that trait. So that's been great. And between the between the gold armor that we were talking about last week, where it's like I can block like any of the red attacks and stuff like that, or parry them. It's like, all right, yep, no, I'm just
the grimace. Yes,
Unstoppable.
exactly just
Yep.
walk through this whole thing, get to the final boss, do a couple hits, poison them, boom, they're dead. And I'm like, cool, took the castle. We're moving on now. So that has been a lot of fun.
And I will say it's still super satisfying to do an X-Men Origins Wolverine and like full on do a Deadpool and slice a bullet in half when they shoot at you as Yasuke, and you just go and you like parry the bullet so all the bullet shatters against the blade.
That's cool.
It's still
Sounds
really
cool, too.
satisfying.
Yeah. But I will leave off with the last thing that I have is I meant to talk about this last week and I forgot about it. I had hit a story point with Naoe and Yasuke where they're back at the hideout and they're basically having a conversation. It turns into drinking and skipping a bunch of
wasted.
Skipping a bunch of story related stuff. You find Yasuke passed out in a cart. And they can't find Naoe. And while
she's
they're
asleep on the roof.
Yeah, she's passed out on a roof, and you just see in the background her sit up on a roof.
That's great.
It's the funniest thing ever. And it's like, okay, I really enjoy as you continue to play it how they've started to strengthen the bond between these two characters.
It's really good character development, I think.
And it's not, I don't know if you can, you're further along than me, but it's like they're not turning it into a romantic thing. It's just
never romantic. You can't.
It's just like two buddies who are out there killing half of Japan. And I just really enjoy it. And
I did find what I think is an appropriate romantic partner for Naoe, and as of this morning, I think I found what I would think is an appropriate romantic partner for my version of Yasuke too. The Naoe one is the Teppo user that you just discovered.
The one that I said is my quiet, continuing on the MGS5.
Yes, that quest line is absolutely hilarious, and I 100% went on that line with Naoe. And the one I just started with Yasuke is someone who's in like the very southern region, at the very southern point of that region.
Okay.
Just someone I happen to be doing a mission for, and it seems like there's a romance quest line available there, which is season based.
Ugh.
You'll have to let me know.
Go back when the seasons change.
You'll have to let me know how the romance, because for my story that I'm doing, like neither one of them.
Naoe's got more important things.
They're not looking for romance right now, and I kind of don't feel some of the stuff that's kind of put in here story wise. I feel some of it's not really earned at all, and I'm not going to get into specifics right now. So there has been times where it's like something like that'll pop up, and I'm like, I just met you. Why are you trying to throw a romance option my way? Like
Mhm.
I would rather kill you than try to have a romance with you right now if you really want to have an emotional outcome right now.
So I will say, like, the Naoe's relationship with the Tepo user, I think, is really well done because
Okay.
like they are both like super sarcastic to each other, and like
Mhm.
the Tepo user constantly refers to Naoe as like Iku-chan because she's part of the Kabuchi Iku or whatever it is the name of her group, and she just keeps poking fun at her in all of the funniest ways possible, and it's just like, okay, this is cute.
They
And like
both
you
do.
give the heart response, and it's such a cute, dumb response too. That storyline, I think, played out really well over the long term.
Okay. Yeah, because I do really enjoy the Tempo character because
Mhm.
they do start just like harassing each other like as soon as you meet because they're both shinobi, but they're like, well, you're a shinobi of this province, so obviously it's like that hometown rival kind of thing where it's like, no, you suck because you're from there, and the other
Mhm.
one's like, you guys don't even have lakes. I bet you stink. How can you even hide in the shadows? And then now he's like, we do have a lake, and if you keep talking, I'm gonna drown you in it. And
Mhm. It's really, really cute, like
yeah.
the conversations between them, and the fact that she's a shinobi from Iga, and the shinobi clan from the Teppo users region were hired by Nobunaga to hunt down the Iga clan. So they were specifically paid by the Nobunagas to hunt down the Egans, and this like bad blood kind of thing that goes backwards and forwards between them as well. It's a really well told story. I genuinely quite like it.
Yeah, but I enjoy the game. It still has a ton of that Assassin's Creed open world bloat, which is why I'm skipping a
Yes,
lot of it.
there is a lot of stuff there.
There was, to continue on, I know the online joke that everyone's had. I did have one where I had to go into a new area and I had no fast travel points anywhere near. Like I hadn't even been to this area. So I fast traveled to my closest point, and for me to get there, it was around, I think it was like 4,600 meters away or whatever. So I grabbed my horse, set the path, have it follow the road there by itself. Got up, made a drink, used the
Mhm.
bathroom, came
And then you
back.
just bought the Kakaguras when you came back.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I do
yeah,
too.
and then I come back and it's at like 3,000 meters. I'm like, okay. And then my wife was outside building something, so she's yelling for me. She's like, hey, can you come out here and help me with this real quick? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I go out there, help her with something, come back in here. I'm down to like 1,000 meters, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go see what they're up to. It's like,
So,
and you
out
don't
of curiosity, was it by any chance the Junjiro mission in the southeast is the exact mission you're talking about?
know, but I was attempting to get down there. I'm not a high enough level because I'm only 32 right now, and that area is 35. And
Mhm.
that makes a huge difference. I tried to take over a base, which was fine, but I ran
Uh-huh.
across one of those stupid generals that kept infinitely summoning things, and it just got to a point where there were so many people there, and I wasn't doing enough damage that I couldn't clear the base, so I just had to leave.
I'm telling you, man, get yourself a Tanto, get your skill points into that Tanto tree, because that special ability where she does assassination damage with the Tanto, like she swings with the Tanto, but then she actually pulls out the hidden blade and
Mhm.
hits him with the hidden blade as she goes past, and it literally counts as assassination damage. So it does the
Okay.
whole black and white thing and the assassination sound effects and everything else. It's
Yeah, I'll have
so
to figure out
useful
which skill
because you
that
could
is.
do that and then just immediately jump out of combat really quick.
Yeah, because I just unlocked the ability where she throws hers and then she follows up with, like, she'll run after it and she'll fall. And I think I just upgraded it so that it added like 10 more meters to the throw distance or something like that. And
Yeah.
that normally by itself is great because it's like you were saying, it's like if I get spotted or whatever, it's like you just see that blade just go flying through the air and then they're just dead. It's like, cool.
Uh-huh.
I don't have to worry about them now. So,
Yep.
but yeah, it's
I like this
it's
game a
fine.
lot.
Yeah. I really am looking forward to comparing it to Yotai later on this year.
Right.
Good luck with
Only
that.
and I know, like, I don't even think Tsushima is like I don't think the Assassin's Creed and Tsushima are direct comparisons. both share a lot of things. There's a Venn diagram that can be made, but that inner circle is a lot thinner than a lot of people really seem to think it is. And I'm perfectly fine with that. They do not need to imitate or copy each other. But I am very curious because in Tsushima, your character is either Naoe or Yosuke. Like, you can choose to make that character that way, and you can kind of dabble in both, as opposed to having two separate characters. So I'm curious on what they're going to do with a whole new game after years of making this. You know, how are they going to update it? How's it going to look? How's it going to play? And are they going to be comparable? Because that'll be something. So, but yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows, if you didn't like the open world games beforehand, this isn't going to change your mind. But if you're interested, it's worth a dabble. Like, and I got it for free. I did not pay for it because when I updated my PC, they just gave me a code for it. So I have no skin in this whatsoever. It could have sucked, and I'm like, well, I didn't pay for it.
That's right.
I did, and I'm having a perfectly fine time with it.
Yeah. So, but that's all I've been playing.
All right.
Me too.
I have a bunch of games here, but some of them are going to be really quick. Forza Horizon 5. Put a bunch more time into it this week. It got a day one patch that seems to have enabled DualSense features. So I have the more accurate rumble. I have the triggers rumble and stuff like that, and the resistance is not super high. It's not like No Man's Sky triggers where you're like really ratcheting those things down. But if you're going at high speeds, your brakes are gonna have some
the rumble
resistance.
the ABS kicking on it or whatever.
So I'm fairly sure it wasn't in there before. Either that was a bug or they put it in that patch. I'm not entirely sure. I did find one feature that's missing from the Xbox and PC version of this, and it took me a while to realize why I wasn't seeing it, and it's clubs. So on the other versions, you could go create like essentially a clan.
Yeah, we have them for across all of the games for E1M1, I believe.
Yeah. And I think we've called it TVGP in these ones.
I believe so.
And I went and looked, and they actually have it in their FAQ at the very bottom that says the club feature was built on top of Microsoft Clubs in the Xbox OS. So there's nothing for it to hook onto on the PlayStation side because there's no equivalent thing. So they just dropped that. I was like, that's kind of a bummer because it's a cool thing of like seeing all your club members and like having the little tag and all that stuff. But it's the thing I would miss the least if it wasn't in the game. So
that's not a deal breaker, but it is really weird that they couldn't make like just like a standard guild kind of, you know?
I bet the juice wasn't worth the squeeze on this one of like, this team needs to port this over, get it working, and like get it out.
Do you still, because you had brought up last time that you could see what your old, like, oh, you did this drift, 2 seconds faster
like
kind of thing.
And,
is it still showing like everybody else's stuff on that too, or is it only showing your stats?
No, it's showing everybody else. Like, it shows like Chuck and his stuff. It shows like Jay Vengeance. It shows Jimbo. Like, shows a whole bunch of people that all played. It shows all your Drivatars as well. Like, all the Drivatars are in there.
Very specific club things.
Yeah, which is like, I read that and I was like, that's fine. It's a bummer because I like that feature, but it's okay. Like, I'm not too upset about it. I drove all of the roads because I thought, let's avoid the problem I had last time, which is I'm going to do all the races, and then you have like 100 roads that are 3/4 of the way discovered, and it's missing this like little bit. So like, all right, I'm not feeling well. Let's just discover all the roads. Just like the Xbox version, it gave me the trophy 5 roads before I had discovered all of them.
Interesting.
Which is, I'm going to guess, the point. So I just went and found the last 5 roads. The last road I needed, I think, again, was not one of those like little tiny like 2-pixel hooks coming off the roads. It's one of those. Is that one city that has all the underground tunnels?
From the freeway?
No, I got those first off because I remember these like the clover shape and all the like different. Those were terrible. It was one little tunnel that ran underneath another road that I just didn't see. And it was like not even a quarter of a mile. So
I wish they would add a thing if they're going to continue doing this, where it's like if you get up to like 95%, it's just like, hey, now you have a hint system
right.
to help direct you, like not necessarily tell you, but just like direct you in a direction of
Right.
where to go instead of just like, I don't know, you figure it.
Yeah, like it's weird. I did start the on the insistence of my kid, I started the Hot Wheels DLC. That's still really good. I did run into a really weird bug with that though. The car that I'm driving around normally, it's like an S1 or S2 class car. So I went and I started the Hot Wheels stuff, and I did like the first like intro race, and got in, and I went back to Mexico because I wanted to do something else. The next time I fired up the game, it yelled at me because I quit out the game in Mexico. It yelled at me because I was in the Hot Wheels area in a car that was too high that I hadn't like qualified for yet. And the options were switch car or back to Mexico. And I was like, well, I'm in the middle of doing something in Mexico. Send me back to Mexico. I go back to the area to go back to Hot Wheels, and I do the intro race and the first qualifying race again. And I was like, that's exceptionally weird. I've been able to get around that by not having it send me back to Mexico, because now every time I start up the game, they're like, hey man, this car's too fast. You're in Hot Wheels. It's like, okay, just switch cars. I will drive myself back to Mexico, and we'll call it a day. So that's weird. I don't remember if that happened on the Xbox version as well. I'm assuming it did, because this version seems to have parity with the other version. But that's been the only thing I've really run into. So it's great. I'm having a blast still playing it. I love finishing something, and it's like, all right, you got 2 stars on this drift track area, and then it's like 392 stars left to go on PR events. I'm like, oh god.
Yep.
Okay. Or like the loading screen is like, you've gotten 3 stars in the like whatever the story things they like, story chapters, 192 to go, and it's like, oh my god, there's so many in here.
Like I will give them credit, like achievement wise. I'm pretty sure that this is the Forza Horizon where they're like, yeah, you don't need to do everything. Just
right.
do most of the stuff.
Yeah, though, like even the ones that they have for those chapter stories, it's just like you need to get 3 stars in one specific one. I think it's the one where you're doing the stunt driving for the movies. I think it's like one of those chapters you got to get 3 stars. It's like, okay, that's great. So
I do miss the fact that they seem to have used up all of their video game references on the previous games though. Like,
yeah,
because they had a driver one in there, they had a Grand Theft Auto one, they had an Italian Job one in there, they had all these driving games, including Gran Turismo. They had like references to them in those stories previously,
right.
and now it just seems like all of the stories are about streamers and vloggers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Which is a little sad.
yeah, a little bit. But that's Forza Horizon 5. It's still really great. I'm still having a blast. This will be the thing that I play a little bit every week for the next couple of months, and just like check off one thing after another on the map and just work through all of it. So it's great. I love it.
Yep.
Blueprints. God, I've been playing so much of this. I have discovered the next layer of puzzles. The kind of like next layer of end game puzzles. I am now filling many more notebook pages with solutions for that stuff. You kind of like fan out across the game to solve a lot of stuff relating to those. I'm having a blast still. My wife helped me figure out an incredibly devious puzzle the other night that we spent at least an hour trying to figure out this one specific puzzle. It was a lot of fun. I the thing that I'm continually surprised and like pleasantly surprised about, this is not a negative, is that I'm constantly stumbling across new puzzles. It's either things that have unlocked because I've progressed other things, or things that have unlocked because I finished the game, or things that I didn't realize were puzzles before that I'm now realizing. Like you get one of those things where you see like a piece of paper or a picture in the game and you're like, oh my god, I've been passing up that thing forever. That's an actual puzzle. So that sort of stuff is exciting. I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm not unlocking as many big things now. So I feel like I've gotten kind of past the halfway point. But there's still a ton of stuff for me to keep discovering and keep finding. And a lot of it is like, you know, they're giving me a solution or like a hint in the game where they give you a description of where you can go look for this thing. And I'm like, I don't even know where that is. I don't even know what you're talking about. So like, I'll make a note, but like, I don't know, man. Let's go figure it out. And that stuff has been really, really great. I did get one of the trophies that I thought was going to be the hardest, which is filling the entire mansion on a run. So I had to fill out all 45 slots of the mansion on one run. And that was just RNG and I ended up the run with like 215 steps, 300 coins. Like I was just flush with a whole ton of stuff throughout that whole run.
Now you're rich all of a sudden. I see how it is.
Well, until the next day, yeah. I was rich for that run.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, I really wish I could talk more about some of this stuff, but it is still so new and I don't want to either purposely or accidentally spoil anything for anyone. Because I think there's only been, I was talking to Late Elf about it on Discord. There's only one thing I looked up so far. It's because I didn't understand the rules of the puzzle and what the game was asking me to do. I think I would have gotten to a solution at some point, but I'm not 100% sure that I would have. And I don't regret looking that up. But I'm glad that I haven't been looking anything else up for just like, all right, they've given me all the tools for this. I just need to figure it out, or I don't have all the information yet, but I'll get all the information at some point. I just need to write it down and come back to it once I get all the parts. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. But not too much to talk about. That's the game I've been spending the vast majority of my time playing, but not too much else to talk about there on that one. Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3. I only played this for a couple of minutes this week because they put out a patch this week that had a feature that I gently complained about during the demo. And it's called Track Unselected Choices. If you're starting the game fresh, this will be enabled by default. If you have started the game already, you need to go turn this on in the options. It's the very last one. It's basically when you get to a selection of choices, it'll give you like 2 or 3 choices. Now, if you've already chosen one of the options, the orange background will be darker than the other ones. So basically say,
okay,
you already...
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, that was one of the things I complained about during the demo was like, I'll go to this area, I'll solve a bunch of puzzles, I'll go to a different area and I'll come back to an area and be like, oh, I actually don't remember which options I chose already because I fought an octopus in this other area. Like, I don't remember this other area at all. So that's a really, really huge change, and I'm glad they were able to get it out so quickly, and I think that helps the game a whole lot. So I enabled that, and I went and go tested it out. It works really great. So I like it. 2 thumbs up. Next game, Peglin. Came out on consoles. I bought it. I tried it. It's Peglin. It works great. It's a Peggle roguelike. It's super charming. I played it for maybe 30 minutes this week. It is missing One of the features that I loved on the PC, though, Moon and I both loved this, where the mouse cursor on PC is like the goblin's, the Peglin's finger, and then when you click the mouse button to fire your ball, it has crossed fingers, like it's praying the ball goes in the right place. Doesn't exist on when you're using controller, which is a bummer. But you know, the game is charming enough by itself. Peglin out on consoles now. It's great. We liked it a lot.
Yeah, go listen to We Rogue Like It.
That's right. WeRogueLikeIt.com. Last game here, and the game I spent a little bit of time playing, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I picked that up this week.
I'm so looking forward to playing this game.
Yeah, like I finally pulled the trigger because everybody. It seems to be the big RPG right now, which even people that don't typically play RPGs are playing it and enjoying it, and people I follow that are RPG aficionados are really enjoying it. I said, all right, seems like the thing that I should be picking up and playing. Number one, it's outstandingly good looking. I really don't know how they did it. It looks so good. The soundtrack is overwhelmingly incredible. It has a really, really cool, unique style. It really doesn't look like anything that I've played before. I am especially glad I went into this game not knowing what the story is, because the end of the prologue hit me like a ton of bricks. That was...
Oh, great.
That's a
Sadness.
heck of a thing.
Just what I need, Boston. Just what we need. Sadness.
It's a heck of a thing, man.
But it's controllable sadness.
That's right.
Sadness that isn't happening to you.
That's right. Well,
Is it?
Maybe.
You're just being subjected to it.
That's true.
No, subjective sadness is so much better than objective sadness.
That's right. I was kind of impressed by the almost Chrono Trigger intro section that is the prologue of this, where you're wandering around a festival and you're doing like a practice battle, and you're telling these people how they should decorate the stuff and helping a painter out and doing all of this little stuff before the kind of game proper gets underway. I'm not going to talk a ton about this because I'm not super deep into it, and I kind of don't want to talk about a lot of the intro. The battle system is really interesting. Our kind of comparison to like Lost Odyssey and Shadow Hearts in the intro is part of it. You do have the kind of QTE system. You do have the dodging, like perfect dodging, perfect parrying, that sort of stuff. That stuff works really, really well. They do a really great job with the tutorial on that stuff. There's like a whole other system of this kind of mechanical magic system they have, where it's like building up a meter and using different status effects to empower other ones. Like the second your character Gustav, you're like powering up his mechanical arm, and the more you power it up, the stronger your stronger spells you can use, and the stronger those spells are. And then the second character you get is basically like, okay, she has 5 elements. Here are the 4. You can do these, and if you combine this and this, it gets this, and then you can overpower with that. I'm like, sorry, what? So there seems to be a lot more depth to the battle system than I thought, other than do the QT, do a perfect dodge, yay, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I do appreciate, and I'm kind of curious to see where the battle system and the story is going to go. Because the story so far has just been, all right, this is what this game is. Nope. This is what the game... Nope. This is definitely... Nope. Not that either. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
Some genuinely incredible monster designs so far. There's a big cutscene at the intro to Chapter 1 that has a really, really great monster design that's just genuinely terrifying. It's really good. So far, I have no complaints. I've played probably about an hour to an hour and a half in, and I'm to the point where you're sort of like off on the big quest, and you got 2 party members, and it just sort of seems like it's starting to take the training wheels off.
Okay.
So I'm kind of excited now to dig into what seems to be kind of the first dungeon, and diving into getting all that stuff. So it seems cool.
I had planned on playing this after Assassin's Creed because I pre-ordered a copy for my son, and I was like, I'll buy a copy, afterwards. I wasn't too worried about me because I've got other crap to play.
Right.
But then when I went to go buy a copy for myself, because I was like, oh, okay, my son and I can play together for a little bit, and then they're just sold out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, come on, are you kidding me?
Yeah, the devs said
they're getting more out. So
they sold 1 million copies in the first 3 days. Which is wild.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's not like, because I thought it was just like a limited run thing. I'm like, oh god, is this going to be like a one run thing? And now it's $400 on eBay. It's like, no, they had stock.
We printed
it just
some.
Got bought out.
Yeah. And it is on Game Pass if I remember correctly.
It is, yes.
Yeah, so if you have something over there, you can check it out. I bought it, and it's only $50.
Yeah.
There's also like a deluxe edition that comes with a bunch of costumes and stuff that I'm not interested in really any of that. And there's unlockable, like, as part of the intro, you get unlockable like different outfits and hairstyles and stuff for Gustav anyway. So it seems like the game already has a bunch of that in it. So nothing I needed to rush out to get. But yeah, nothing super crazy to talk about with this game yet, other than it's really good, and I feel like I'm getting right there to start chewing into a bunch of the meat of the game. I'm pretty excited to get into it. So that's Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I'll be talking about that more over the next couple weeks. So keep tuning in for that. All right, that's all I'm playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yep.
Oh, man. Also didn't realize that game was M-rated until I bought it. I was like, I can play this around my kid. And there's one early cutscene where I was like, no, I cannot. Whoops. Messed up on that one. All right.
Did I talk last week about Liverpool winning the title? I can't remember if I did that in the outcasts or not.
I thought so.
That's not,
or were they familiar. Like just ready to play the game? I don't remember.
Maybe they were just ready to play the game. I can't remember anything. I can't remember what day it is.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys ready to start this? Because we have a lot of news stories this week.
Yep.
No, we don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, nothing happened. Everything was great. Everyone got raises.
Nothing ever happens.
Well, yep, I'm just going to say there is one news story that's a lot longer than it needs to be, but that's not just you. That's everybody.
Yeah. All right. Yep. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of May 5th, 2025. The Midnight Walk comes out on PS5 and PSVR 2. You've probably seen this. This is the clay-based sort of first-person exploration, spooky, scary game. I think it was shown very heavily at the Keighley's
When you
last
say
year.
Clay, do you mean the material or the developer?
The material, sadly not the developer.
Okay.
I wonder what Clay is working on right now. I don't know if I've heard what they...
Didn't they get bought by Epic or something? Probably.
I mean, probably. Did they get embraced?
Don't conjure those beasts from the dark.
Yeah. So you've probably seen this. I don't know if I realized that it was a PSVR title as well, but it is a non-VR title too. So you can check it out. The Midnight Walk. Next up, Revenge of the Savage Planet comes out PS4, PS5, Series consoles, and PC. This is Game Pass day and date. It is the sequel to... Go
ahead. Clay did not get embraced. They got scented.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
10 cents. Picked up Clay.
Well, okay, that's not as bad, but it's not good. Yeah.
Their Twitter feed's been dead since last year.
Great. That's a great sign.
It's like-
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
The
everything's
the
going
last
great.
release was Griftlands, dude.
That's not good. Griffland's a great game. It's not a good sign. Anyways, Revenge of the Savage Planet, sequel to the previous game, which was Return to the Savage Planet. Was that one what that one was called?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
People seem to really like this, and I was never super interested in it, but people seem to really click with the first one. So it seems like they have improved a whole bunch of stuff in here. They have conductive goo that they're showing in the trailer. So I don't know what games are anymore, man. Go check out this game if you like the first one. I just work here. Next game is Spirit of the North 2. Comes out on PS5, Series consoles, and PC. Sequel to the previous game, Spirit of the North, which was people seem to also really like that one, and I never really was super interested in that. But that was the fox and stag wandering around solving puzzles and stuff. I'm kind of surprised they're making a second one, because I'm used to all these studios being like, all right, we made this game, both of the cute animals died at the end, here's a spiritual successor in the same style, and those cute animals will die at the end too. But I guess they didn't die, because now they're back for another one.
That you know of.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't know what fox that is.
That's true. Classically, I don't know much about foxes.
If it's got 9 tails, you're in deep trouble. I'm
That's
just
true.
going to say that.
I do know a lot about cats, and Little Kitty Big City is coming out on PS4 and PS5 this week.
Yep, it leaves Game Pass in 11 days, by the way, for
Right.
everybody who is listening. You should buy this game.
Yep.
It is great.
If you haven't played it, it's like 3 hours long if you're just going to sort of mess around with it. So you can play it pretty easily on Game Pass before it goes away. But if you haven't played it, it's really great. It's a open world mischief sandbox.
It's a Catroidvania. Thank you very much.
That's right. Thank you. It's really good. It's really cute. It is also younger player friendly as well. It has a lot of kind of accessibility things for, especially like the jump, where it's like, this is where you'll jump. This is how far you're going to go. That sort of thing.
My daughter loved the game too. So
yeah, it's pretty great. So that's coming out on PS4 and PS5 this week. And Duck Detective: The Ghost of Glamping comes out PS5, Xbox One, Series console, Switch, and PC. This is the sequel to Detective Duck and the Secret of the Salami. Was the first game. People also really love this. I unfortunately haven't gotten back to. I haven't gotten to the.
I've never played a Duck Detective game, and I would really like to, but time being what it is.
A part of the thing that I heard of with the first one is people were really happy. It was like a handful of hours at most. So it wasn't like a really big sprawling thing. It was like a 2, 3, 4 hour sort of thing, which I appreciate, because I think we need more kind of bite-sized puzzle games like this. As I clock dozens of hours in Blueprints, we need some more sort of shorter games like this. But yeah, that's Duck Detective: The Ghost of Glamping, coming out this week. That's all of our releases. Let's talk about all of our news stories. We got all of them this week. They're all terrible. I'm just not gonna bury the lead here. It's a lot of really bad stuff. I threw them in a hopper. I put them in here randomly. Let's start off with Xbox announcing their price increases.
This is to go in line with the Switch game prices, right? Am I right in thinking Switch 2 games are going to be $80?
Some Switch 2 games are going to be $80, yeah.
Okay.
But this is also to adjust prices due to, we can say it pretty bluntly, saying President Trump's tariffs. They can say it.
Horrible economy ideas.
They can also say challenges in the marketplace. It's
not even that. A lot
the
of them are
tariffs.
even. Yeah, everyone's like, well, the cost of developing has gone up,
Right? It's just
Which is
because
true.
of tariffs. Yeah,
Right.
That is true. Like, that is the thing that, and I don't care what company says it. If you were to say, yeah, we're making games $80 because development costs have gone up, yes, I agree. They have.
They have gone up.
Video games have stagnated in prices when they should be $120, $150 each at this
Right.
point in time.
Please
Like,
don't.
so
but,
that's That is a quote unquote acceptable excuse. What is not an acceptable excuse is running teams the way big companies run teams,
Right.
and then still blaming dev costs being high. It's like,
Exactly.
no.
Especially
You made them high.
Yeah,
Right.
especially when pay has not raised. That has also been
Exactly.
stagnant, including with these companies that are complaining about development costs. I bet you're not paying your developers and
Right.
what's maybe left of your QA team, if you even have one anymore.
Right. Oh, boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't come out here and be like, unfortunately. It's like, no, you're also part of the problem.
Right.
All of them, not
Yeah.
just Microsoft, all of them.
Yeah. So
If Xavier Nelson Jr. came out and said, "Yeah, well, the next game is $30, so we can pay the devs,"
Yep.
it's like, cool.
great.
I trust
I'll
you.
pay the $30. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of this, there's a bunch of accessory costs that are going to go up. We're not even going to cover that. The Series X with a disk drive is going from $500 to $600, which is a lot. The Series X digital, the one without a disk drive, is going from $450 to $550. The Series S with the 1 terabyte drive going from $349 to $429, and the Series S with the 512 gig internal storage going from $300 to $379. And then, like Moon said, on the software side, Microsoft says the increase to $80 will apply to both digital and physical versions of some new games this holiday season. So there's a bunch of like asterisks and things of like it will be for digital and physical of some games.
And it's
this
also
season.
first party games from Microsoft. They're not going to dictate everybody
Right.
else. But
Right.
Nintendo floated the idea of $80 games. Everyone was like, blah, 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 but I'll pay it. And Microsoft are like, well, if you'll pay it, we'll charge you.
Right.
And
Well,
I guarantee
if the water's
Sony are not
fine.
going to be
Yeah.
Sony are not going to be far behind.
I mean, that's the real big question now with Nintendo being as clear as they can be, saying like at launch, this is the price of the Switch 2. At launch, we will have this many units at this price. And then Microsoft coming out and saying in almost
Market
every region,
conditions.
market does. In almost every region, increasing the prices of their hardware, and now talking about increasing the prices of software.
And didn't Sony increase prices across the board except for in the Americas?
It's a bunch of.
Am I
It's not
remembering that
every
correct?
region. It's a bunch of regions, though. I don't think Japan got increases, but a lot of other North America didn't, and I don't think Japan did. But I think when you look at Sony's side of the equation, they have the most expensive console by far already at $700 for the PS5 Pro. I can't imagine increasing the price of that. A console that's already too expensive would be like, yeah, by the way, it's $800 now. Like,
You can't imagine it, but at any point did you ever imagine that somebody would get on stage and say you will happily have two jobs to pay for this?
no, but thankfully that was a different Sony, I think.
Is it that different?
It's
Boston?
never
Is any
it's never
company
really
that
a
different?
different Sony. I think the thing that is wild is you look at like an $800, $850 PS5 Pro, and it's like, bro, just buy a PC. Just buy a Steam Deck for less money. Buy one of those Asus ROG whatevers for less money. Like you can't spend that much money on this stuff. Like you're pricing, and like this is the time where consoles are supposed to get that $100 price drop. It's supposed to be like, hey man, the PS5 and the Series console, they've been out for like 6-7 years.
Parts are supposed to be cheaper. The manufacturing process is supposed to be better. This is the
It
point
gets
where the price drops
smaller.
happen.
Right.
Yeah, you get the micro versions.
Yep.
But nope. Guess what?
I also wanted to bring up too, real quick, that the Xbox Series X with the 2 terabyte drive, that one is $729.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so much money.
Oh, that's the Galaxy Black limited.
Yeah, the
edition
Galaxy
one.
Special Edition one. Yeah.
God. It's an incomprehensible amount of money for these
It's
consoles.
$1,000.
Yeah.
My refrigerator that I need costs
Right.
that.
My groceries that that's a separate podcast.
Seriously.
But like
Hey, yeah, that's literally like 4 weeks of groceries for me,
Yeah.
and I can buy myself a new console.
I can't
Who's
afford
ready
this.
to starve?
Yeah, that's right. Like I can't afford any of this stuff. I can't afford $80 games. I can barely afford $70 games. Like, I bought Clair Obscur because it's a $50 game. Like, I
don't know who it was. I think it might have been one of the people from Polygon. We'll get there eventually. Who posted like, yeah, prices go up, but the three most successful games this year are below $60.
Right.
And it was like Clair Obscur. It was something else, and I think it was Repo was the other one. It's like,
yeah.
Spoiler alert! It's not the price that's the problem.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on this. I'm dreading the other shoe dropping for Sony about like, ooh, funny story, prices are going up. Anyways, see you, bye. So we'll talk about that.
How much is it a Destiny season pass at the moment?
I actually don't know. They're announcing the new Destiny expansion on Tuesday, and I've seen the price of the collector's edition that I will be buying, and I am already shaking in my boots. So
that's the other thing. Like, I haven't bought a collector's edition because normal collector's editions now are starting at $200.
Yep.
I'm like, that's almost literally a week's worth of groceries, if not a week's worth of groceries, depending on what's going on.
I'd be happy if I was dropping $200 for the Destiny expansion. I will not be. That would be more than that.
It's just there's just so much stuff. But it's like, where are you guys thinking this money's going to come from?
Right. Yeah,
you're going to kill the market.
That's the only thing that matters is number go up. And when number stops going up, heads will roll, and then maybe people will finally do a reset.
The correct heads will never roll.
And
no, they never will.
Never be the people that put this industry in this situation. It will always be everyone below them.
And
Bobby got his golden parachute, and he's out the door.
That's right.
Like people like that never suffer the problems.
Speaking of the people that did suffer from the wrong heads rolling, two big websites effectively have shut down this week, and we'll get into what effectively means here. It's kind of a two for a news story, which sucks in so many ways. Polygon was sold by Vox Media to Valnet, which is, it's like hearing
do some research on them.
Yeah,
like,
we'll talk about it here in a minute, but it's basically the media version of getting embraced. It's just like, oh no.
Yeah. Yep. And not to promote like other podcasts or anything, but go listen to we did a breaking news special about these two stories. Go listen to that for the full rundown of Valnet. I do not want to talk about that company on this show.
No,
number one, because we primarily can't.
Well, it's also like, we can't talk about so much of it. There have been a number of serious allegations against them over the years. The phrase that keeps coming up is digital sweatshop, based on how they treat and pay their employees. This is allegedly, there's a bunch of stuff out there, but Valnet is not the company that you want to hear that your outlet just got purchased by. So
I can't remember who it was, but somebody reported on this and asked the owner of Valnet about that story specifically, and the owner pointed him to the defamation lawsuit that they have currently filed against the original people who published that story.
Great, I love it. So yes, allegedly. So they basically gutted the staff of Polygon, including the co-founder and editor-in-chief Chris Planty, who's been there for the entire 13 years that Polygon has been running, and senior writer Michael McWhorter, and based on Blue Sky, pretty much everybody else. Doesn't seem like there's anybody left there that still has a job, which is a real bummer. Like, I am pretty tired of hearing people's opinions about video game journalists and journalism in general. If you have a negative attitude about that, shut up and go find yourself into a rocket into the sun. But Polygon was one of the best ones we still had. They were doing
one of the best super serious ones too.
Yeah,
like, they did serious reporting.
They were still doing a lot of, like, Matt Leone was doing a lot of deep dive stuff still. We don't have any websites really that are doing text-based, like, deep dive investigative reporting. A lot of that is left to, like, questionable YouTubers that are making poorly sourced videos. Go see H Bomber Guy's videos for that. And he exposes their issues, not that he is the issue, to be clear. I like H Bomber Guy. But they were some of the best ones that were still putting out really great news stories, still doing great interviews. So this is a really huge blow to the industry overall. And then later that day, Fandom says, oh yeah, by the way, based on the most recent Giant Bomb cast, we're pausing stuff that's going on at Giant Bomb, and then everybody quits.
And I, I'd say I didn't know about the quitting part, but I knew that they basically removed the final Bombcast episode
Yeah,
because
so
it was very much
here's
an FU.
here's the sequence of events that happened. During the premiere of Giant Bombcast 888, the middle of the episode, both Jeff Grubb and I think Mike Minotti were both giving fandom the business about fandom's new kind of acceptable behavior, acceptable content requirements, which is basically like take all your content and just water it all the way down and just keep it super PG, which for a site like Giant Bomb is antithetical
That's not what they
to
do.
how that site is run.
Hey, Boston,
Yes.
don't shake the baby.
Yes, don't shake the baby. So when that got pulled down, Jeff Grubb said, well, it wasn't our decision to pull the episode down, but it is our decision not to put that episode back up. So it will be unavailable. Also, myself, Jeff Grubb, Dan Reichert, and Mike Minotti have all quit. And Mike Minotti didn't really work there. He was kind of a hunter. Anyways, kind of the two big ones, Jeff Grubb and Dan Reichert, have both quit. And they're just saying, I'm not going to do this. This isn't, fandom has not worked well for us. And if they're going to continue to put more restrictions and more kind of guardrails on us and how we make content, I'm not going to do it. I don't need any of this. The Giant Bomb Blue Sky account posted, quote, "We understand your frustration and appreciate your patience. We're actively exploring creative decisions for the future of GB and look forward to sharing more with you soon," end quote. And then Kotaku reached out to fandom for an elaborated statement, and they said, quote, we understand this programming pause isn't ideal for our audience, but it's part of a strategic reset and realignment of our media brands. We have some creative...
You killed one of
an
the
institution.
oldest... Yeah.
Quote, we have some creative ideas for the future Giant Bomb that we're actively working on that we'll be able to communicate more about soon, end quote. It's just...
Out of curiosity,
yeah,
has anyone in this group of people here or listening, have any of you gone back to check out Waypoint since Vice decided to rebrand it again?
oh my god, it's the worst.
Mm-mm.
What are they...
So I haven't even gone back because you lost what made Waypoint.
But here's...
You just did.
Hold on. We've never even talked about this Waypoint revitalization, where it seems like maybe they have one person working on the staff that appears, I'm using my language here very specifically, appears that they are largely just spitting out a bunch of AI-generated articles time and time again.
Shock of shocks.
It's shockingly bad, and the anger that I could feel rolling off of Austin Walker's Blue Sky account was palpable.
This whole week, Austin Walker is not active in social media. He's just not. I follow him. I like seeing what Austin Walker has to say because I think he's genuinely one of the most intelligent people to speak on anything. Period. He is not active on social media. I have seen 8 hits from him this week, which are just solid bangers of I'm about to kill some people.
Yeah, and let's be honest. Giant Bomb has been struggling for a couple of years. After they got sold to Red Ventures, they got sold to fandom. The continual changing of management hands and layoffs every time they would change hands, and people kind of coming and going from a personality standpoint really did hurt the site. But it seemed like they were in... If anyone hasn't paid attention to Giant Bomb over the last, I don't know, maybe 2 months or so, they seem to start hitting their stride again, and they seem
to get stability.
Well, they and GameSpot had joined forces to do something called the Power Block, I think it was called. It was basically a 4 or 5 hour daily stream that was sort of combining a bunch of different stuff that Giant Bomb and GameSpot were doing to kind of say, like, you can tune in at any time during the weekdays and Giant Bomb or GameSpot will be having a stream, and you can just keep watching it, and it's like a programmed thing of like, here's Last of the Nintendogs, and here's a thing over on GameSpot, and here's a back to Blight Club, and here's on this. It was a really cool idea that seemed to, from a production standpoint, seemed like a pretty heavy lift, but seemed like they had some pretty good momentum on it, and that this just put the brakes on it completely.
Yep.
And it's a horrible 1-2 punch with both of them. Like, I don't want any of these sites to close down, but to have two institutions for two kind of different and complementary reasons.
Well, arguably the opposite ends of the spectrum too.
Yeah.
Polygon was never really like a podcast sort of thing. Like, they had some cult of personality stuff, but it wasn't as much as Giant Bomb.
Yeah, but with Giant Bomb, like, every time someone left, they lost and gained. Like, credit where it's due, they lost a big chunk of audience and gained a different chunk of audience every time. They somehow kept the wheels turning.
Yeah.
Like, and I was out when Jeff was out. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like, when Gersman was out, I was out because at that point I had lost the original Giant Bomb to me, which was Gersman, Davis, Vinny, and Brad, essentially.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, like, that's the most understandable, I think, of like, well, the people that I liked that were working there aren't there anymore, so I'm gonna go follow them to their stuff. Like, that's that when you find someone you like online that's covering your stuff, no matter what the topic is, you tend to follow them, which I think makes the most sense. So yeah, it's I fully expect Giant Bomb.
Tell me Polygon wasn't profitable though. Like, you cannot tell me they were not profitable.
No, yeah. I fully expect both of these places to come back. I'm pretty worried.
Are we talking a Waypoint way is the problem?
That's my thing. I feel like it's going to be like the shambling corpse of both of these websites, propped up by bylines that are just like Giant Bomb staff. Here's the top 10, vending machines and games this year. And it is an AI nightmare. That's what I'm really worried about for both of those sites. And I guess we'll see. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I doubt I will be in 2025. So, next news story here. This is great news for everybody that isn't Apple. So let's dive into this. We can finally continue the story that happened 4 years ago, the Epic Games versus Apple decision, which was, if we remember, many, many years ago, Epic unveiled a new storefront inside of Fortnite on iOS that said, hey, you can get your V-Bucks for X price through the app, or through Y price through the Epic store by clicking this link. And the price through Epic was significantly discounted. And Apple was like, well, number one, you can't do that. And number two, if anybody's buying stuff through your app, even if you go off of our platform, you still owe us 27% of the stuff you've made off of that. And Epic was like, no, because I'm not going through your storefront, so you don't deserve money that you didn't earn. So like Jeff Grubb this week is saying, like, what Apple is asking for is if you use your phone to call Domino's, then you give 30% of that to Verizon just because you used your phone. It's like, no, that's not how any of that works. So this lawsuit has been going back and forth for a number of years, and the last decision that was made by the judge largely seemed like it was going to give the win handily to Apple. Until a couple of days ago, when it seems that Apple has snatched defeat from the jaws of victory and completely screwed up this entire thing. And U.S. court and the judge who is furious, by the way. You should go read the entire decision that she has made. One of the most furious judge decisions I have seen in a really long time, is now prohibiting Apple from collecting fees on app purchases made outside of its app store, period. So if you send someone off to a website, you cannot gather any portion of the fee or whatever payment that they are doing. Apple can also not use scare screens to try and frighten customers from not going off-site. So they can't say like, well, this site might not be safe because you're leaving the Apple App Store. You're leaving the app. You can't do any of that stuff. Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers is the judge who gave this decision. She's upset, understandably, about Apple's non-compliance with the original ruling and accused Apple Vice President of Finance Alex Roman for lying under oath, and is she said, quote, he outright lied under oath, and she's recommending him for investigation regarding criminal contempt. Just saying like, hey man, you guys screwed it up and you lied under oath and you're still gathering all of this stuff. As an interesting fallout from this, not only has Epic immediately taken to social media saying like, hey baby, Fortnite's back on iOS. It's like, okay, sure. That's not the biggest concern, but okay.
No, but
sure.
That's how it just
It did. That's how it did
started.
start. Yeah.
This is the whole Switch making people aware of the Switch 2 making people aware of the tariff situation.
Exactly. Like however
Fortnite
it gets
got removed
there.
and now you're aware of this?
Right.
Fine.
Right. Patreon has also come out and said, hey, funny story. We're actually going to roll back all of our subscription changes. And we're not going to gather any additional fees because you're signing up in the iOS version of the app. So we're already seeing some great. It's going to be really interesting to see what shakes out of this stuff as soon as app developers, especially, I'm keeping a close eye on like Hoyoverse and other like major gotcha developers. Now that they don't have to give Apple 30% of in-app purchases, what does that turn out to be from a like day-to-day monetization standpoint? So that is a fairly major and surprising twist in this. It seems like it's over at this point. I never want to say it's completely done, because Apple, of course, is going to appeal and blah, 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 the normal stuff. But at the moment, it at least seems like, hey, Apple, we told you to do something, and not only did you lie on the stand openly, but also, like, you haven't even been following what we told you to do. So stop it. Like, now we have to be very clear about what you can and can't do. So really interesting and surprising that that this story ended up in that point as well. So nice to see Apple got smacked down for once for literally anything. Kudos. And last but shortest news story here, GTA 6 has been delayed to next year. I had the funniest response to this. I wrote about this on Discord. Saw like, May 26th, that's next month. No, wait, that's this month. No, wait, that's 3 weeks. No, wait, that's next year. So it's May 26th, 2026. And it's a lot of like, extra time, deliver, level of quality, blah, 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 blah. We're sorry for delaying, yada, yada, yada.
Good.
Yeah, good.
No, I'm not going to say no crunch, but I'm assuming less crunch.
Well, and actually, it's interesting because Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg says that ever since the big crunch story came out of Rockstar San Diego, however many years ago that was at this point, he's been keeping tabs on it every so often. And he said, quote, Nobody I've talked to at Rockstar has believed fall 2025 is a real window for very long time now. Too much work, not enough time, and what appears to be a real desire from management to avoid brutal crunch. A GTA 6 slipping to 2026 has seemed inevitable for months, if not longer. End quote. That's from Jason Schreier. He said basically after that news story, Rockstar employees have said to him that there has been a very serious change on crunch. They haven't completely wiped out overtime or periods of crunch, but they say it's a far cry from what it used to be, and just like nonstop, continual, horrible crunch. That doesn't exist anymore. So if you need to delay it because there's still more work to do, great. This game's going to make a bajillion dollars anyways whenever it comes out. And I'm assuming it's going to have 2 versions anyways, one with and one without the online version. So expect to pay $120 for it with the online version. You want to do that anyways? That's great. Also, I appreciate that they didn't put it at the end of the fiscal year for this year. So March of 2026 is going to be real rough for brand new releases, of people just being like, get it out of the door before the next quarter. Nobody release anything. Q2 2026. The big guy is coming through. Don't even worry about it. Get out of the way. Just get the game out. If not, move until 2027. So that's it. It's coming out next year, probably, ish.
Cool.
Same day as Silk Song, of course, or same day as what'll come out. The games that always have the worst timing is the Horizon games. Look for a Horizon game.
Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon 3 coming out same day. Boy. Anyways, that's all of our news stories. Those are all terrible news stories for this week, which means that's the end of our thankfully not terrible episode. I'll pump us up a little bit. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right hand side of the page. Please join the Discord server, discord.tvgp.tv. Has a credible community over there. Buy our merch.tvgp.tv. And let's do another quick plug here for e1m1.cash.
The ones are the dubbers.
$5 a month tier is a recommended one. That's why we call it Fun for a $5. It's definitely not a reference to something that came out a very long time ago on the show. You can get all the cool stuff we talked about at the beginning and support this show. It pays for all the hosting. Hosting is expensive for all this stuff. So it pays for all of the hosting. Tell your rich friend to become a patron. That way their money can pay for our groceries. And maybe a Switch too, if we're lucky. If you can't support us financially, totally understand. Go like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube videos. Everything on the public feed has a video version of it as well over there. Like this show? ? How can I save this one? Do you like this show? Then go review us on your podcatcher of choice.
Yes, support us orally.
That's right. Only good reviews, though. If you have bad reviews, I don't know. Tell your YouTube subscribers and your anti-feminist screed this week. If you have any anti-feminist screeds you're putting out, stop listening to this show. We don't like you. We like feminism.
Yep.
And we like trans people. We like trans people. We don't like TERFs. I don't like calling them TERFs anymore. We don't like trans folks.
Everybody who doesn't spread hate.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. So be cool or be gone. Please. Anyways, that's our episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
All right. What titles do we have? Nimp?
I got 3.
Okay.
Circles are a good shape.
The best shape.
Project $10. And my runner-up is Knees to the Arrow.
That was your runner-up? Okay, what's your first choice then?
Because I kind of really do like how weird circles are a good shape is.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right,
I
Moon, what do
think
you
I've
have?
got one. I think I've got one that takes it, to be honest. But
Ooh,
we'll
okay.
see. The English one. That's not the title.
That's right.
Um,
Coming in strong.
I'm a professional. Extracurricular activities. Tangent the episode. Revenge.
Revenge.
The paddle of waivers. Just what we need. Sadness. Subjective sadness. Who's ready to start? And the title this week, Catroidvania.
Oh, Catroidvania is really good. Catroidvania. All right, I have at 70 hours? Question mark. The Big Circle. Circles are a good shape. Project $10. Knees to the Arrow. Subjective Sadness and Catroidvania.
I mean, Subjective Sadness, Knees to the Arrow, and Catroidvania are all bangers.
That would
So
be
is
my top
Circles
three.
the best shape.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, the community are calling for it.
For Knees to the Arrow.
Knees to the Arrow, and we know it will annoy Boston to have it as a show title. So I say we go
I'm already
Knees to the
circling
Arrow.
it.
Nimp, are you with us on this one?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, and I'm ready.
Spotlight's on you, Nimp.
I know.
The pressure. Dum, dum,
And just so you know, I'm 100% doing the obvious joke.
Oh, okay.
Well, and the worst thing is, too, is in situations like this, I'll have it clear in my head, and then I'll go to say it, flub it every time.
It's gone.
I need to get the Sonic 2 drowning music. Dun 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 dun. Blorp.
Ours versus Cats. Are we playing Luck Be a Landlord right now from chat? It's
Heyo.
very good.
It's a good one.
Let's see.
I should play more Luck Be a Landlord.
You should.
Yeah, I installed like 2 games that I got on deep discounts, so it left my front 5 because it auto does new downloads
Sorry,
there.
Luck Be a
So I was
Landlord.
like, I need to load it back up again, get it back on that list.
Obvious Zen.
All right, I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 915 for May 5th, 2025. Knees to the Arrow.
I used to be a podcaster. Now I'm a content creator.
I hope they make a video game based on that.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We do greatly appreciate it. Thanks for everyone hanging out and being so active in chat. We really do love seeing you all there every week, and we hope we'll see you next week. Bye.